live then. Let's go live then. Is it on? Am I in here? Are you out there? Stuart Monroe. Good day, guys. Can you hear me, Stuart? We're in. Here we are. All right, guys. We are going to start this off with something that, you know, it's going to be the year. It's going to be the year of the Skarsgård. It just is. It's going to be the year of the Skarsgård. This is a new film that came across the desk, you know, because I sit up here in Tinseltown, and they always throw things on my desk. And I said, hey, what's this one, man? Here's another good one. Skarsgård. Gus Van Sant. Gus Van Sant, not only... Here's something crazy. Gus Van Sant directed this guy's dad. These Skarsgårds go way back. They got them deep, deep Hollywood roots. Gus Van Sant directed Good Will Hunting. This guy's dad was the teacher in Good Will Hunting. Just some fun trivia for you here. But we're going to get I'm going to get a copyright strike right out the gate, running clean. Because I want us to, I'm going to play this trailer in case you guys haven't seen this yet. So as the class is filing in, we'll have some good old entertainment.
What are you here in Indianapolis? It is Tuesday, February 8th. I'm DJ Fred Temple. I thank you for listening.
Mr. Temple, sir, you have a caller?
I have dinner in 30 minutes is what I have.
That, Tony... This fella's on the line and he's asking to speak to you. The guy with the shotgun in the man's neck.
You should open with that shit, James.
Bad times coming and I reap what I done sow.
Hello, Mr. Karitzis.
It's an honor, Fred.
What's on your mind, brother?
This loan company's done me wrong. They set me up and schemed to ruin my life.
Well, let me tell you something.
I'm not a rich man. I'm a poor man, and that never bothered me.
I'm a man that's fighting for everything that he owns, sir.
So what's your plan, Tony, huh? What's next?
This is a dead man's wire. If anybody yanks on me or yanks on that gun, he'll die.
Listen, Tony, you've made your point.
I want a formal apology from Meridian Mortgage. I want financial compensation for all the money I would have had, and I want to walk out of here a free man.
You want some milk?
Sure thing, Tony.
You like ice in your milk?
No ice, Tony.
Good, because I don't remember if I filled the trade this morning was a whirlwind.
Now, Tony, a lot of worried folk out here.
This is unbelievable. Man, see, you can't have, well, is everybody still here? Damn. What a bummer, man. Okay, that's okay. So, this film... oh, man. It's going to be the year of the Skarsgård. It's going to be the year of the Skarsgård. This guy... Okay, first of all, this movie is directed by Gus Van Sant. They have already given an award to Gus Van Sant for this film. This film is going to be nuts. Just the way even that it looks, that's the first thing that pulled me in, because I'm like, Skarsgård, it wasn't really pulling me in when it came across the desk. You know, it just came in on the desk there, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to watch this, but I gave it a chance. It said Gus Van Sant, so I gave it a little chance, and it was the look, man. It was just like, oh, dude, this looks good. Like, it looks good in a modern way, but still... yeah, 10 minutes, no sound. Yeah, I know. Wait, even with the trailer and everything? Can you guys hear me now? You can hear me now, right? Besides the Crow remake, I like all his work. Gus Van Sant remade the Crow? I didn't know that. Anyways, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole trying to discover more about this. And ASC has a whole thing on it. And we're going to take a look at that. But beyond that, so just to back up here a little bit, they say that they got the look using vintage broadcast cameras. But then they also mentioned that it was used with the Leitz Hugo lenses. Now, the Hugo lenses, these are just rehoused Leica M Summilux lenses. We heard the trailer, not you. Gotcha. Okay, so, but that's what okay, so these are the true rehoused versions of the Leitz M08s. And the Leitz M08s are just all the Leica Summiluxes with gears on them. But now they put them in true rehoused, and they're called the Hugos. So they combine these lenses, apparently, and put them on vintage broadcast cameras to get the look of this film that takes place in the 70s. Okay, so I think when I was muted, I read the breakdown on this, but this is a true story. This film was a true story that actually happened in 1977. And I guess, you know, I was born in the 80s. I never heard about this event that happened in 1977, where Tony Kuritzis entered the office of Richard Hall, president of the Meridian Mortgage Company, and took him hostage with a sawed-off shotgun wired with a dead man's wire from the trigger to Tony's own neck. Never heard of that story. That's a pretty wild one. But so in looking at these Leica lenses, right? Leica, or Leitz, I should say. It's all the same shit, really. They have this awesome lens test comparison thing, right? So we can see what the Hugos are doing in comparison to something like the Leitz Primes, or even something like the Summilux Cs. So let's just go back to the lenses that we're talking about tonight, the Hugo lenses. Now, keep in mind, these are just really Leica M photography lenses in cine housing, just like a professional rehouse done in their own warehouse, you know. It says here the scene was lit to T4, internal NDs, and occasionally ISO were used to compensate for faster aperture settings. So let's throw on like something in the middle, like a 35 mil. Notice the 35 mil is a T1.5, and now we can actually watch this. I won't mute myself now. We'll just mute this thing. Notice that cat eye bokeh there? Pretty gnarly cat eye bokeh on those Summiluxes. Faux show. These things are like wicked sharp though. These things are so sharp. So imagine that. These are the lenses that they're using. Pretty good flare too, actually. Kind of an interesting flare. It's got a little bit of those little gnarly orbs coming in, but not like too overbearing. But I don't know about this. I don't know if I like the center of it. Pretty good lenses though, but man, just wicked sharp. And they put those on the vintage broadcast cameras. So I want to try to find out what the vintage broadcast cameras are, because we don't really get a breakdown of like what the camera was exactly. And apparently they used it for the whole film. It would seem like to me they would just use the vintage cameras for like those specific recreations, but I don't know, man. I'm starting to think, like, just look at this. This is rad, right? I'm starting to think that maybe it was vintage broadcast cameras and they adapted those Hugos to them, because that's a pretty gnarly looking shot. I mean, I know a lot is done in the color grade, but still it's so soft. They would have had to filter the crap out of those lenses though, man. Those things are sharp. But don't you guys just feel it? Can't you just feel this movie? You know, you can feel this kind of older energy. You know what? I just saw a little clip of like another thing that I think was the actual broadcast camera. Yeah, because it's no way that the whole movie was done with the vintage broadcast camera. I just saw something else that was a little gnarly looking though. And I imagine they wouldn't show like the gnarly stuff in the trailer too, right? Like they're not going to show that. Feel it. I mean, you know what I mean though? Like check this out. Oh, I think I was saying when I was muted, they're already nominating this thing for best period film of the year. But let me get to this one part where he came across the room there. The lighting is so good. This is a weird shot, but I'm trying to find it now where he runs across the room. This is stellar. You know, like this kind of, it just has, I don't know, it's keeping up with modern times for sure, right? It has like you can kind of feel like the inspiration from No Country for Old Men, right? You can feel it. You can feel it in these shots. So like if we bounce out and just compare this to No Country, so we know that it's being influenced by, you know, proper influencers. You know, this was a 2007 film. If you're not familiar with this film, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but you can certainly feel the similarities in there's a particular shot that I had in mind, like when they go to the hotel at night and Woody Harrelson is in there. I don't believe that's it. I'm just looking for a particular shot right now that reminded me. I mean, I guess this is somewhat similar to it. Boy, that is pretty dark though, isn't it? Holy cannoli. That's darker than what I remember. This film is darker than what I remember. But you know what? I just watched this, like, I feel like I watch this movie every year. I feel like every year I watch this movie at least once. Isn't that sick? That's probably not good, like for your like your mental well-being, but just because it is kind of a really weird movie, like when you just kind of sit back. But then it also is, I don't know, I think there is a lot of interesting kind of little pearls in there, you know, like little words of wisdom being dropped out during this movie that are just like presented in such a dark manner. But check this out. This is kind of, ooh, this is wild. These grabs are insane. But this isn't quite, that's the location, but that's not, oh, here it is right here. This is the exact shot I had in mind. Look at that shot, right? Like, look at that shot. And now, like, look at these, you know what I'm saying? Like, that looks like that could very well be from the same movie, if not the same location. It's not, of course. But what I'm saying is, like, we can feel the influences of this new Dead Man's Wire movie, but at the same time, it kind of has a little bit of that, old Hollywood feel to it, you know? Look at that even. It just has and I know a lot of the production design, it has a lot to do with that. I'm well aware of that for sure. But I just think this weird combo of using those weird old cameras with the super sharp Hugos, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting choice, right? Like, it's like, rather than going the other way, because think about it. Usually the trend right now is, oh yeah, IMDb has really low-res photos. No Country is my favorite movie of all time. What up, guys? Harry at Dead Ringer for a video. I get it. I watch it once a year. Yeah, it bugs me that IMDb has the UI of a 90s website. Yeah, it totally does. Oh yeah, with all the I know, it kills me, dude. I hate all the ads they have, but it's because Amazon bought them out. Amazon owns IMDb now, or have for many years. But think about this, right? Like, if you think about what's the biggest trend is the vintage lenses, right? The biggest trend is vintage lenses on newer modern cameras, right? Because think about the Arri Alexa, like whatever version of the Arri it is, it like dominates Hollywood. Or even if they're using the Venice, which is, you know, slowly becoming the new Arri, right? Like the Sony Venice also, you know, is used a lot, right? Like the most probably, I don't know. It's probably the biggest competition for Arri, I think, is like the Sony Venice in those cameras, right? But what I'm saying is that's the trend, to use those cameras, you know, if they decide not to shoot film or IMAX, which is a whole nother trend, right? But what I'm getting to is like the going trend is to put the vintage lenses on the new modern thing. This film has done something a little backwards here. They use the old broadcast cameras and put the newest, sharpest lenses on. These are rehoused Summiluxes, which are some of the best, sharpest lenses in the world, right? And it's like, oh, they're doing the opposite thing here. I just think that's a interesting choice, because maybe that is like the little secret ingredient of whatever I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, because you can tell that this is like super modern, right? We know that. The production design is really good, which really helps our brains out a little bit. But for me, it's like, and obviously this is production design, so that definitely is. Is that a little Roscoe dot back there? They're like, oh, we don't have any more globe lights. They're like, put that Roscoe dot back there. They'll never know. It looks like a Roscoe dot sitting on top of the TV. But Now, here's the thing. This is what I was saying. This is definitely the footage that was shot with the broadcast cameras, right? Like, there's no way, right? There's no way that this stuff is also shot with the broadcast cameras. I see what they did. But why aren't they telling us what they shot it on then? They won't tell it. We got to get to the bottom of this. We got to get to the bottom of this. So I found this. This is going to do me in. Let's see. A vintage lens now is a 2005 CP2. Yeah, that's true though. That's true. That is a tube camera. What you just saw, that JVC. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, right? Like, is that a Leica? I don't know what that is he's got. Oh, that's a, from the front, it looked like the Leica Super 8, but it's a huge news camera. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's no way the whole film was shot on vintage broadcast. Let's see, there's this 45-minute long thing I found, but I was trying to...
Their creative collab.
Let me see if we can see when they talk about the lenses and things, because they do talk about the cameras in here. It's either a Ikejami or JVC. I just wanted to, and I lost my spot here. Yeah, so right there, it is that portion. Hold up, I just saw it.
I mean, I saw it in the theater, so it just had this beautiful texture to it. And I was sure that you shot on 35. And you know, I was wondering, in post, did you also like work with like, did you put film grain on, or did you do anything? How did you work with your colorist?
So yeah, with Daniel, we did put some grain on. Daniel Devue is a great colorist. Yeah, we did put some grain on, but I always shoot, no matter what, if we're doing the day, I've never shoot like at 800 or those. I always go, I push like between like 2000, sometimes I go even 5000, just to get a little bit of texture coming out and not having something too clean. And then at the end, yes, we had some grain and trying to flash a little bit the blacks, that the blacks are not really black, but there's a little bit of like stuff in it. Yeah, that was mostly, and also the treatment of color. I think for me, film, like the blue and the red.
Wow, that's crazy. 2000 in the day? 2000 ASA for a day exterior? I'm going to do that. I'm going to start doing that. That's wild. 2000 ISO outside? That's like, could that be the secret? Could that be the secret to cinema? Hey man, you know, I've really been trying to get something a little more cinematic. Dare say no more, my friend. Where's that ISO button? Crank, 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 crank. What are you saying? Don't buy one. No, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna buy one of those old crazy cameras. But I was hoping to find what they were shooting with the lenses, man. I'm not gonna make us sit here and watch this whole thing, but I was hoping that I could find when he talked about the cameras and shit. It must have been before all that, because she already found out that they didn't shoot it on film. But that's a cool little thing for for shooting day exteriors. Let's go back and look at that a little bit. Let's see that 2000 ISO in action, man. Holy crap, man. Hold on. So I wonder what ISO they shoot at nighttime then. I mean, they got to try to keep it clean at night, right? Like you would think. Did they say which camera they use? No, they're not telling us. They'll only tell us what they used for this stuff. They did use a vintage broadcast camera, apparently, but only for those weird moments you saw to recreate the news stuff. Because that's old Billy right there. That's our Pennywise. He like, so, you know, they didn't use any of the actual recreation, or maybe they did. I don't think they did though. I think they used the actual vintage broadcast cameras. But no, we can't find out anywhere. All we know is what lenses they had, which was these Hugos. But I don't know what they shot it on. All they say is vintage broadcast cameras. There I am. Let's see. Dead Man Wire? What's it called? I think it's called Dead Man Wire. Modern digital cameras and period accurate broadcast cameras to achieve a specific look. The main digital camera was the Sony Venice 11, while older Ikejami, you called it, Harjo Singh called it. They said it was probably an Ikejami broadcast cameras were used to recreate vintage news footage for realism. The Sony Venice 11 with these Hugos. So these are the lenses they used on the Sony Venice 11. I didn't even know they had 11 of those things. Holy crap. That's what they used to shoot that on. So yeah, disregard what I said. They did not do what I thought they did. I thought they were shooting on something older. Oh my cannoli. Sony Venice 11 with Hugos. No wonder he was shooting that 2000 ASA. So here it is. This is what he's talking about. But this is YouTube compression, which is horrible. But then also, you know, they put the grain on over that. So not only do they rip it at 2000 ISO, but then they put grain on over that. Man, that's wild. Should we go see what it looks like? I have some of that Nikon ZR footage that they shot. Oh, do I still have that Nikon ZR footage? Oh man, I might have already archived it. Oh no, I might have already archived it. I gotta have some raw footage on here somewhere where we could go crank it. We could go see what it would look like at 2000 ASA. Oh, I think I do still have all the Nikon ZR footage. Oh, dang. All right, this is what we're going to do. Because I don't think I've ever shot that high. You know, I have shot at, what, 1000 ISO. I think 1000 ISO is the highest I shot outside day exterior. And I'm pretty sure it was with the red Komodo. But I don't know where that footage would be. But I do still have some of that Nikon ZR footage. But it's not footage that I shot. It's footage that that the owner of the camera shot, by the way, which everybody thinks that. I get DMs. People are DMing me, asking me, hey man, how's the whatchamacallit? How's the ZR treating you? I'm like, what? No, why do people think I bought that camera? Like, dude, I'm like, no, the guy just let me use it for literally 2 hours. What the hell, dude? Anyways. I'm gonna bring in, but anyways, it's footage that they shot, and I'm gonna bring in, I think I have their, yeah, here it is. Let's see, I'll just find some good beach footage, change the frame rate. I'm just curious what the ZR would look like at pushed up to 1000 ISO. And let's see what the frame would be on here. There's a good one right there. Let's go over here. Let's see, am I still connected or did I fall off? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Oh no, I didn't import the RAW, did I? It's the other one. So this is what the ZR does. It records a proxy next to the RAW. What number was that? 7.9. Okay, hold up. I imported the wrong one. It does a proxy at the same time. Isn't that wild? That little camera's nuts, dude. I will say that. All right, so now we're in with the red. Let's see. Yeah, you got to get it out where it's gnarly, though. We got to really see the whole thing. Let me hide the node tree here. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. We don't need to look at clips. All right, so let's get in here. What do you guys think I should do? Original or legacy? Or the IPP2. IPP2 probably is best. Let's crank this out to 2000. Ooh, yeah, buddy. But on the day you would have the ND to protect it, right? So you already know what time it is. On the day you could protect it with the ND. You would be okay. But we're gonna go full screen here and see if we can check out some texture here. Let me just push and pull this. Let me just destroy it first. Let me get it good and destroyed before we pop out and look at it full screen and see what we can discover here. I'm gonna add a little bit of contrast to this. Yeah, let's bury this. Come on now, Johnny. I'm gonna show you something cool too. I just got it. It's so old. It's so old, but because a project that I was just finishing on, I finally got it. I mean, it's been out for years and I just never bothered with it. But I think for me, it's like super important because I'm an idiot. Let's see, timeline. I'm going to add a node here. It's a DCTL. It's the mono nodes. Dude, it's so good. Let's see. I'm going to put in the balance mono node. I know you guys are losing a little bit of the screen here. I'm going to have to cover you guys up for a minute. Okay, so the mono nodes is in, but it's on a timeline level. Now, check out what this we can do. Yeah, we want to see the mono balance. See how he's turning yellow right there? But what I like is the split four-way, so we can see all ways. And now I go over here to the clip. And so you could control the, you know, you can get all your balance set up. Dang it. I already destroyed this. I messed it up already, but that's okay. The first one can be exposure. We'll do the second one for like skin or whatever, but usually you can just throw this hue and you can watch him turn yellow. That's pretty good too right there, probably. But these other ones, this one down here is for saturation, and this one is for exposure. This is an old program that Darren like showed on his channel like a long time ago, and I was like, oh dude, and I just never got it, and I probably should have, because like I can actually see yellow. I can see yellow, you know? I hope that's yellow. Anyways, I'm sure that's yellow, right? If that's not yellow, we're in trouble. If that's not yellow, I got to go back and fix 2.5 hours of something. Oh shit, dude. I should have maybe double checked with someone first to make sure that's yellow, but I'm almost positive that's yellow. Anyways, so that's just a really cool DCTL thing there, right? Anyways, let's go back. Okay, so we got it cranked out at 2000 ISO here. We can go back here. We can look at the, boy, this is soft, eh? Probably the ISO mixed with the, no, I think he was just soft on his focus a little bit. Here goes that shot though. It got in focus like right around there. So even in the shadows, I mean, I know you guys probably can't see much, but honestly, it's not as gnarly as I thought it would be cranking that up to 2000 ISO. I can't remember what he shot it at though. Let me just reset this real quick, or I'll just drop it in again. I'm just curious what he shot it at. We'll pull up the clippies here. He shot it at 200. Holy crap, he shot it at 200. So this shot is a little out of focus, but we're really just looking at the, so see, that's where it was captured at 200 versus, where does he come in on this? Is that a different shot, dude? Versus that. Let's see. Oh, it resets itself. I hate it when it does that. It's not too bad though. I mean, this is horribly out of focus. We got to get one that's in focus, man. But what I'm saying is like, this is why. This is the best part about a real cinema camera, is that it doesn't matter what ISO you put it at. Someone else was like, I get comments all the time about that of people asking like, dude, like what is up with the ISO? Like, dude, this guy is getting nailed in the nuts with this wave, bro. But wait, I'm trying to get like, but someone, you know, because I get comments all the time on the old video of like, I was just trying to find a sweet spot of where he was up under there. Let me get it right here. Dude, mine looks so much better. Let's see. Yeah, see? You can't even see. There is no difference of noise. There's literally no difference in the noise. Even if I jacked up this exposure, like let's just go back and just like jack it up. Because I brought it way down. Let's bring it up a little bit. Yeah, dude, look at that. There's no difference in noise. No difference in noise. So if you're just getting in here because you left it first because of no audio, hopefully we're back on now. Shit, dude, I gotta keep double checking that now. But it was originally captured at ISO 200, and we changed it to 2000. On the day, you could essentially do the same thing, right? We're talking about how I think we're all gonna start shooting our ASA at 2000. Did they say, oh, okay, yeah. His face is yellow, the hands and feet are green. They were? His hands and feet were green? Wouldn't it be more like shooting 200 ISO and shooting at 800 ISO and developing 2+ stops? Wouldn't it be more, okay, hold on. Wouldn't it be more like shooting 200 and shooting, wouldn't it be more like shooting 200 ISO and shooting at 800 ISO and developing 2+ stops? I'm not sure I follow you the whole way there, Harho. It's more like, because the way you're talking makes me think about film. But the way I see it is a little bit different on the digital side. Oh, you are talking about film. Okay, yeah. I don't know if my brain can put that together. 800 ISO, developing 2+. Would you hit 2000? I don't think you'd hit 2000 just pushing it 2 stops. Would it be more like shooting 200 ISO? It's hard for me to talk about them similarly because my brain just puts them in 2 different categories. Yeah, like a lower ISO film. No, I get it, but you'd have to. You're saying I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're not trying to do the same thing. You're just saying the similarities. Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. However, I don't know if that's a popular thing to do on color film. I don't feel like people tend to push color film that far. Maybe they do, though. Maybe they do. Yeah, I mean, in theory, that's the same. Maybe you're right. Yeah, I see what you're getting at. So I think what you're getting at is like, yeah, or something that what you're talking about made me realize that, you know what, a lot of the ASC guys are always shooting in the same fashion that they shot the film. Whenever you hear them like talk about it, or you know, that they're having their discussions or like interviews or whatever, they always talk about it the same way, like the way they shot it. Holy cannoli, dude. The way they shot it is the same way that they would do it on film, and they tend to do the same practices in digital. And that is an interesting thing, isn't it? Maybe that's a big advantage. Like maybe that's a huge advantage of like doing film first. Because I definitely did not. I did digital way before I touched film. So I didn't know anything about film or working with film or nothing. I knew nothing. I'm a digital baby. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's why my brain has a hard time like fitting them in the same category. Like you instantly thought about like, wouldn't that be the same as 800 and then push? Like, yeah, like my brain doesn't even think about that. Like I just think about it as ones and zeros, you know, knowing what the ISO, you know, knowing that normally when I go outside, I wouldn't push it that high. I have pushed it to 1,000 though. I definitely have shot the red Komodo at 1,000 ISO in day exteriors, 100%. But a lot of it was due to because I'm like knocking down the background like a mofo, but at the same time I don't have the resources to bring up the level on the foreground, if that makes sense. You know, like I get myself in those predicaments a lot because I work on such small budgets, right? So like we're just doing everything we can to control the background and not having enough resources to control the foreground. And a lot of it is because, you know, poor planning, you know, 100% poor planning. But it's because like on the jobs that I do, the DP is very rarely consulted with on like when they're going to shoot something, you know, like when's the best time to shoot here. They usually don't ask me that. I mean, it's not that it never happens, but I would say about 75% of the time, nobody ever asks for my advice on the scheduling or like when we should do something. They never have. And maybe I should just get better at being like, hey bro, like, and I certainly do. I don't say bro, of course, but like, you know, like I have some level of professionalism, but you know, this is just you and I talking here, but, I certainly do throw out ideas, but I don't think that I'm like, this is something I'm discovering more about myself. Like, I'm not that like assertive when it comes to choices that I suggest, you know? And what I'm realizing is like the more jobs I do, the more I have to get more assertive rather than making it an option. Does that make sense? Like, I think that I don't, and what I'm trying to get to at is like, you know, so this is how I operate. I go, oh, that's a choice. I don't know if that's a choice that I would make, but that's a choice. And you can do that if you want, you know, and that's usually what I do, right? Like that's almost verbatim something I've said on a set before, you know? And I think like being kind of vague like that, but at the same time, in that same token, I still also offer my choice, right? I say, this is what I had in mind, you know? But what I'm finding out is like, I think you got to be a little bit more assertive with that, you know, like without, and to me, like, that's my polite way of being like, no, I don't think we should do that. You know what I mean? Cause like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I'm like, nah, that's not a good idea. Right. Like, I'm not going to say that. I always am like, that's an interesting choice. Not one I would make, right? But it is a choice, right? And but here's the thing, if it's a good choice, I'm always like, oh, that's awesome. Let's do that. Like if I think that if I just think immediately that it's better than the one I had, I won't even say anything about my idea at all, I think that's also a bad idea, right? Like, I think it's always in our best intentions to always share the idea or the vision that you had. Even if you think their idea is better, you should still share yours, because there might be a portion of theirs that they do like, and then they can combine it, right? So I always do try to share my idea, regardless if I think it's a good one or not. But when you get to like the technical side of things, I feel like that's when I have to figure out how to be a little bit more assertive, because some of that stuff is starting to come bite me in the ass. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that, and it's like, well, on the day I knew that what we were doing was wrong, because you always know. And I'm not always the best at like being like, this is a bad idea, guys, like with me, I just maybe I go with the flow too much. And here's the shit kicker of that. When you do that, on the back end, people aren't going to remember that you weren't into it. All they're going to remember is that you did it, right? Like, they're going to remember that what was done, because now they're at home, there's space in between, and they're going to be looking at it, and that's what they see, right? Like that's what they see. They don't remember anything what happened on the day. And so that is the number one reason why you have to figure out how to be like super assertive, and I don't know how we got down that rabbit hole, but I think that is probably the best advice I can give on this entire stream, especially considering the fact that the first 10 minutes was mute. I'm trying to get my points back, man. Yeah, it's just processing plus 2 stops. Yeah. I'm just talking lower ISO film. Got you. Yeah, because the film blooms. Yeah, it changes the details and the highlights. Digital is signal gain. 100%. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. With red, I will shoot 640 in darker places and higher than 800 in lighter areas. At least red told me it helps protect the shadows and highlights when you do that. 100%. Yeah, that's part of the training there. Yeah, you try to stay, you got to be more first 3 letters of assertive. Yeah, sometimes, maybe so. Yeah. When I'm doing shoots, I always ask people if they have any ideas that might work. Yeah, 100%. That's kind of my MO too. Or you mean you just open it up for everybody? Like, you're like, hey guys, just curious, if anyone has an idea how to do this. No, I get what you're saying though. But I'm not that lenient about it. Like, I am still, I like to stay open to all ideas. I'm not a big fan of when the whole set chimes in ideas though. That to me is like, ooh, I don't like that. Like, and that happens on a lot of low budget stuff too, where like everybody has an idea or an opinion about it. And it's like, why is everybody chiming in on a choice about, a light or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is something I don't always like. I don't like experiencing that. But I notice a lot of people don't mind that. And I'm like, maybe that's just a weird thing with me, where I'm like, man, why is everybody like chiming in with ideas? I don't know. It's also like coming from, I guess the acting world, and just seeing how it's kind of done on a much higher level. And then it's like, oh, it's like over there, like nobody gives another department an opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not what you do. Like, and so I think that was one of the first things that blew my mind in like the non-union world, of just seeing how much people share ideas. And I guess in the non-indie film world, I guess it makes more sense because everybody has more of like that collaborator family feeling to it. But I don't know, man. It's still a little weird to me, because you still got to treat it like a real job. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about anywhere else. Like, think about, just think about a job at, I don't know. I've never had a real job, guys, but I'm going to try my best here. Think about a job at like, I don't know, UPS or something. I actually did work at UPS when I was in college. So I know a little bit about how UPS works, right? So it would be like the same as like, I don't know, that's not the same either because everybody kind of starts out the same way at UPS because it's just a factory job. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, why, like, I don't know. Okay, maybe like like in a kitchen or something where like, what about like if the person that's making the desserts, is it okay if they come over and start telling the person making the entree, you know, what they feel they should add to the dish? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, maybe in the cooking world, that's cool too. Maybe it is more of like an ego thing where it's like, I don't like these people giving me their ideas. But I don't know, man. When I was working on some jobs in my acting days, I never saw that ever. I never saw the whole set going, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, maybe we should do this. Like, I never saw that happen. Like it was, you know, it just wasn't done that way. You know, like the tiers were followed, I guess. And people didn't really step outside of the line that they belonged in, and everyone kind of stayed with their department, you know. I don't have huge problems with it. Look, it doesn't matter. Like, I also understand, like, yeah, we're not doing like the next big badass thing, you know, like we're working on a little tiny indie thing, whatever it is you're doing, right? It's super low budget, and I get it, but at the same time, I think that if you approached every job like it was the next Blade Runner, I don't know if that's good for your stress levels, right? But I do think it's good for like just like having that level of professionalism being like beat into you a little bit. Like, because, you know, you're going to get to those jobs eventually where, you know, they don't do that, you know, and if everyone starts chiming in an idea, or, you know, you hear the DP say something and then some Yahoo over there goes, yeah, that's a great idea. He's going to be like, oh, thanks. You know, like it's just, it would be a weird thing. It's going to be awkward for you, you know, like I'm just saying, like, it happens a lot on the lower budget sets for sure, man, where everyone is chiming in. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I really do. Because sometimes I like it. I guess it also boils down to who I'm working with. Maybe that's why sometimes I have a problem with it. Like if I'm working with someone like brand new, or maybe their vibe is weird, and then when they start giving me ideas and they're not even like in my department, and then I'm like, and then I get weirded out about it. But I guess that's to be expected, right? So I don't know. But then if I know everybody and everyone's cool and I love everybody, then I'm like, yeah, you know, it's all bets are off. So I don't know. You know, I got mixed feelings about that. That's a crazy rabbit hole. Holy shit. Shane Herbert is releasing a film class on shooting on film. Film for cinema? Shooting film for cinematography? Hey man, look, it'll probably be badass. Shane Herbert's badass. There's no joke about that. Very talented guy. I hope you learned a lot, bro. I mean, hey, I took a Shane Herbert workshop, virtual during COVID. I learned a lot in it. Yeah, man, I think there's something very unique and special about this film, though, that I think is going to hit harder as it gets closer to its release time. Look, it's got Billy from Stranger Things. Oh, it's already online? Yeah, man, I'm sure it's good, bro. I'm sure it's a good one. I learned a lot of cool stuff from Shane. He's got good ideas. He's got a lot of good ideas. Sony Venice 11 and the Hugo Leitz lenses. Yeah, this one's been a wash, eh? I was just like, man, I don't know. This movie looks so rad to me. Someone shared some BTS on the Reddit. You know they're making better films now. This one is coming out in January. Did you think this was an old movie? This is coming out in January. Like, I feel like film had a slump. Yeah, I think it's still in it, honestly. Like, I think it's still hurting. And I saw that in some of the ads. They were saying that, you know, they were blaming it on streaming. Literally, some of the film workers tied to this movie. They were blaming it on. See, it's already won. They already gave him an Excellence in Directing award for this movie. Yeah, man, it's gonna be nuts. But anyways, they've been blaming streaming for the issues with like Hollywood. Here it is, right here. Let's see what he's saying about it. The secret agent director, boy, I don't know what, says Hollywood must draw a line with streaming if they want to keep film going alive. So his latest film is The Secret Agent. sounded the alarm on disruptive impact of streaming culture on moviegoing, especially in countries like the US where theatrical windows are shorter. They are getting shorter too. It had always been very clear that to see a film, you would see it in the cinema. Well, this is not so clear anymore. I think this is taking many people away from the cinema-going experience. The industry, particularly in Hollywood, really has to draw a line if they want to keep film going alive. No, I have not seen Roofman. We missed that. Talking about not staying in the theaters long enough, our theater here only had that Roofman movie for 1 weekend. 1 weekend. Let's see what the numbers were on that thing, by the way. What were the numbers on this thing? Because, like, I mean, it wasn't there, but 1 weekend. Everyone was saying that. They're saying it's a good movie. Actually, I really did. I'm low-key a big fan of Channing Tatum, actually. He's hilarious to me. It's already streaming? Well, I guess it's been out for a while now, right? But I'm telling you, man. So look, let's check this out. So the budget was $19 million. Dude, they didn't even, oh, bro, this is brutal. This film took a hit, dude. It took a hit. It's only made 33. It's only made 33 million, but it took 19 million to make it. Do you know you have to make double before you even break even? That's the rules. You have to bring in double just to break even. And they definitely lost. They lost on this one, bro. They lost on this one. Holy cannolis, dude. They didn't even break even on that movie. Brutal. They had so many billboards for this movie too. But it might be a lot of it because AMC had it for 1 week here. That's it. 1 week and it was gone. It's like, wow, dude, it's getting gnarly. And that's a Paramount film. Yeah, man. That's gnarly. The behind the scenes is great. Best Tatum film. Really? Wow, dude. He said it's good numbers for what kind of movie it is. I don't know. They were doing, yeah, I guess they didn't do like a huge advertising run, but I put money on it. They still did some marketing. Dude, they're doing crazy marketing for the Marty movie. What is it called? Marty Supreme? They've been doing some gnarly marketing for this movie, and it's working. It's got me a little excited. I usually don't get excited for Chalamet movies, but this one is getting me excited, and I think it's the marketing. Oh, Roofman is shot indie style? Let's see. I haven't really checked out too many of the shots of it. Very kind of old school, huh? Like kind of like Wedding Crashers kind of vibe to it. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Like Wedding Crashers. Yeah, what a weird movie. Yeah, we wanted to see it bad, man. Let's see, what's the details on this one? Do they tell us what it is? Aricam LT and Panavision Primo lenses. Aricam LT? What the hell? Wow. I am excited about this film, though, right here, too. Marty Supreme, boy. This one's going to be nuts. I normally don't care for this guy, but this one's got me a little pumped up. Yeah, they shot it on film. Yeah, that's wild, dude. I can't believe they chose this film to shoot on film. That's crazy to me. Crazy to me. He said, whoa, nice stuff. Yeah, we're having a slow night. We got off to the wrong foot, and it kind of just took the steam out of my sails, as they say. So this will probably be a shorty tonight. This is one of those ones we're just hanging on. We're just hanging on, Johnny boys. We're just hanging on. Wow, I can't believe they chose this to shoot on film. That's wild to me. I don't know why. I don't know if I can articulate what I mean by that. I guess, like, look, I'm always down to shoot on film. But for this kind of, like, genre, that's an odd choice, is it not? A lot of non-actors in this movie? Maybe so. Did you get any Z-mount primes? Z-mount primes? No, I do not own the ZR. Everyone thinks I bought that camera. No, dude. The dude let me use his camera for 2 hours. I don't even care about that camera. Did anybody even watch that video, bro? Did anybody actually watch the video? That's odd to me as well, right? That's a weird choice, right? To shoot this is basically like a summer movie, you know, like I said, like a total like Wedding Crashers movie. And then it's like, let's shoot it on film. It's like, holy shit, why? I mean, I get it. Look, I haven't seen it. So maybe it gets a little dark, or like maybe it's like, you know, it's based on a true story. So I imagine they wanted to catch that vibe, like that period, you know, I guess, right? When did the true story take place? In the 90s or something? I'm going to guess. This looks kind of 90s out a little bit. They were really leaning into it, you know, really leaning into it. Watch it. I thought you were trading for one. Nah, dude. Nah, man. Nah, dude. Everyone thought that I got that. They all thought I got that. No, dude. I had no interest in it. I just like, you know, if someone's like, hey, you want to come shoot my camera? Like, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. It's a super popular camera, you know, and of course I'll go check it out. Check it out. He's got the small rig little handle on there. That is too. That's a small rig handle on the small HD. And that is the small HD. You can see the logo, all right there. That's a cool little rig they made him. It's got small rig handles on each side. And it's the ones with the wood underneath. I don't think you can get these anymore. They don't sell these anymore. So it's a wooden handle on each side of it. And then they put it like an old school, the way it hangs is like straight down. Interesting. That's the trick. You got to let it hang vertically. I've never thought about that. That's hilarious. The movie was shot kind of similar to Blue Valentine. Oh, was it the same DP? Was it the same DP as Blue Valentine? So this is Andre Potier. What has he done? Yeah, there you go. He shot Blue Valentine. That's hilarious. Kind of Voyager doc style. I guess there was no Black Friday damage. That's one perk to keeping your old gear. Nah, they don't get nothing from me, bro. They don't get nothing from me. Same director and DP as Blue Valentine, eh? Hold up. Who was the director then? Derek Cianfrance? Weird. Oh, The Place Beyond the Pines. Oh, man. This movie's looking cooler and cooler to me. Yeah, we got to check it out. It's already streaming. What is it streaming on? I think we have every streamer, so that should not be a problem. Dang, we might watch this tonight then. Interesting. Okay, all right. He is one of your favorites, Derek Cianfrance. Yeah, I do love The Place Beyond the Pines. Ooh, Sound of Metal was good too. Yeah, he does good stuff, eh? He's got some good bangers in here. Blue Valentine was okay. Not in my top 10, but it definitely was pretty good. It's an Apple movie? Oh, dude, you gotta buy it? Nah, dude. We gotta watch that shit. Streaming as in buying it. Ah, never mind then. I know this much is true. Ooh, this movie was this is a show. Oh, dude. Marianne and I were just talking about the show. So this came out during COVID times. This came out in 2020. Dude, this movie will rock your world. Or this show. Sorry, it's a show. This show will rock your world. It is so dark. Marianne says that it took a year off of her life. Or something like that. I think she may have said it took years off of my life. She said that's what it was. It took years off of her life, and there's not 1 year that goes by that she's not reminded of a traumatizing moment from this show. Oh, dude, it's gnarly. This show is gnarly. It's called I Know This Much Is True. And Mark Ruffalo plays both of the brothers. It's insane. And literally one of them is literally insane. It's such a crazy show. It's so dark. It's so dark. This is gnarly though. But yeah, I only bring it up because your guy is the director of this show, dude. The same guy that did Roofman. That's crazy. So yeah, Roofman must get dark, eh? If he maybe. Speaking of Black Friday, did you pick anything up? I bought a few loose ends I had in my saved for later cart from BH. The price drops were decent enough and I needed a few things. What's up, Chill and Connect? You needed a few things. Man, I didn't, dude, I didn't buy anything, man. I didn't buy, you know what I bought? I bought some shirts at one of my favorite thrift stores. One of my favorite thrift stores. I was like, okay, they're having Black Friday. Let me go check it out. Like a vintage store, you know? And I got 3 shirts for like $3. And I was like over the moon. I'm like, bro, I just got these shirts for $1 each. I'm just buying lights and audio gear. Audio gear? Nah, man, you just get the most basic thing. What do you need audio gear for? That's when you're gonna get roped in, man. If you have too much gear outside of the scope of like the very bare necessities for corporate work, if you start getting more gear beyond that, you're gonna end up in a whirlwind. You're gonna be an audio guy one time. You know, they're gonna start bringing you in unless that's your goal. Like if that's your aim to like own all the gear so you can go fill any position and be like a master of none, I'm just like, bro, don't do that to yourself, man. It is the worst. And just always remember, the last thing people will remember about you is what your role was on that set that they know you from, right? So for instance, all the jobs that I was the gaffer on, none of those people ever like think of me as like a cinematographer or a photographer or none of that. All they think of me is what they know me as is what I was working on that set as, gaffer, right? It does not matter. You will never switch that out of their brains, right? That was like when I started realizing that, I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm gone because I'm not a gaffer. I'm actually not. I don't know anything about electricity. I don't know how many times I just kept getting roped into these gaffer jobs just because of the network I'm in. Look, and I was grateful to take the work and I'm like, this is cool. But I'm like, bro, if I end up and I can't, and like that just kept escalating and escalating. And then one time, come here. One time, Gracie, you just blew my memory right there. Anyways, it's just not a good idea because that's all they will remember you as. And it's just not good to get established as one particular thing, you know, because once that's into people's brains, it's game over. You know, you're never gonna be able to replace it. I recently watched Hereditary and that messed me up. Yeah, I have still never watched it. Sad to say, Curry Barker will be really upset that I had just admitted that. I only watched the trailers. It's all I could watch. And I only say that because, you know, that was one of the prerequisites that I was supposed to watch Hereditary before we did the chair because I shot the chair. And I was just like, oh, dude, I couldn't watch the movie. That's and I can tolerate a lot of scary movies, but the trailers are good for me when I watch that. I'm like, no, I'm good. I get the idea. I'm like, dude, I can't watch that movie. There's no way I can watch that movie. I've still never watched that movie. Audio is the biggest problem for me. In terms of like trying to do it right, yeah, me too. Especially on the back end, the post end. Post audio is harder than on-set audio. Post audio is brutal. Like that's the thing that throws me off the most. Like post audio is so hard to figure out all those levels and everything. It's wild on the back end. Was waiting for a good shotgun mic. I'm still using this stupid one. I think I eventually, if I'm going to keep doing these streams and everything, I'm going to have to get like a more traditional YouTube mic or something because I know this mic is a little gnarly. And this is just what I use as my shotgun mic, the Sennheiser MKH16. I've always had it though. I'm looking at getting a 7 Artisans 10mm f2.8 Mark II full frame ultra wide angle fisheye lens now that I've got my poor man's cine bag set up. You got the cine bag going? Oh man. I mean, he said AI solves the post-production audio stuff. I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, it, you know, sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't work good. I just want to check out what Stuart got real quick. The 7 Artisans. Oh, you bought that Bloom lens? Is it the Bloom lens? Did you get that Bloom lens? Let's see what you're talking about. What are you going to put this on? A 7 Artisans f2.8. Is this what you're talking about? 10mm? For Leica L mount? Leica L mount. What did you put this on, Stuart? What are you shooting on again? The Pixis or something? Wait, no, the Pixis is full frame, isn't it? Yeah, Teradek? Yeah, I mean, I've used plenty of Teradeks. I've never, it's been a while since I owned a set of Teradeks, but almost every big set I work on has those. Nobody will go the way of the Vaxis. They don't trust me. That bloom looks fun. Yeah, the bloom lens is crazy. What's the name of it? That bloom lens is so crazy. What are you putting this on? This covers full frame though, dude. Stuart, where did you go? Sony a7R5? You're using this on the Sony a7R5? A 10 millimeter? What are you doing with that? What are you doing with that? Try this with the worst audio you have. What? Try what? What's it called? Oh, for some reason, I can't ever see the links you guys drop. I can never see the websites that you guys drop. Ever. Bloom, it's called, yeah. Oh, it is made by 7 Artisans. It's literally just called Bloom? Wait, before we get to that, I wanted to see, does anybody show images of this thing? I want to see what it looks like on full frame. Yeah, I don't see a link. I don't see any, can you guys see the screen? There's no links on my chat. Oh, BMX and skateboarding. Yeah, that makes total sense then. This would be perfect for, oh, so now you got the cine back. I see what you're doing. You basically like, now you got, like, you turn the A7R5 into, like, a skate cam. Yeah, that's a gnarly lens, though. Look at that one. Some of these look crazy. Look at this one. This one looks really cool. Yeah, I don't see a link. Yeah, oh, you don't see a link either? Yeah, I think there's something wrong with the chat. It doesn't let you put links in. Dude, Gracie is losing her mind. I'm going to have to go soon, guys. She's about to tear down the whole tree. Let me get out of that real quick. Hold up, let me see. What were we gonna look for? Oh yeah, the bloom. Easy handle part 2. Yeah. Oh, they're already sold out. They already sold all these. Holy shit, they sold them all, dude. They're selling these things. I should have got it when I had the chance. This was so cheap too. Maybe I can find someone that has one. The floral PL mount. There it is. Yeah, it's gnarly, man. I should have got one when I had the chance. Where's all the images, though? Yeah. Oh, I wish I would have got one when I had the chance. These are gnarly, too, man. They're super gnarly. Floral bloom, it's called. It was gone in 5 hours? 5 hours? No way. Yeah, but you know how hard they were pushing it on Facebook? They were pushing this so hard on Facebook, dude. That's the whole reason why. How can I focus beyond the technical gear and acquisition side? I'm relatively new. All right, hold up. We have a caller.
Call from Monroe Photography.
Hello.
Yeah, I bought one of the AliExpress Cinebacks and it only cost me $120 instead of paying $600 Australian because old mate, the original Cineback guy's a rip-off. So
whoa.
And now that I've got the, what's it called, VNAND battery, and I've got the monitor and the handle and all that sort of stuff, and I just want to, so I had a fisheye for years, a Canon 15mm and a Venatar one as well, but I just, you remember the Easy Handle, the filming?
Oh yeah, I have one, the Scorpion.
Yeah, I had two of them, and when I got out of filming, I was like, I'm not buying that stuff again, but after, I'm working on a section with my friend who's 50 next year, and his ankles are really bad, so I sort of said, he's never filmed a section before, and I'm explaining to him that you don't have to kill yourself to do a section, because I've worked with so many people over the years making DVDs and stuff, BMX DVDs, and so anyway, we go to a couple of spots, and it just sort of, I was filming long lens with the Sony 70-200, just sort of getting used to it again, and yeah, I've just built this setup, and it's so good, but that's what I thought, instead of just using my GoPro as the fisheye shots, I'm going to use buy one of those. It's just, if you look at that lens that you typed in, but look for the Sony mount one, it looks really good. My friend's got one, so I just don't want, the depth lens corners on it, on some people still want to do that sort of stuff, but yeah, and for photos it looks quite good as well. So, And so, but anyway, that's me talking crap, so I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, the grabs that they have here on this website, it looks awesome. I like the distortion of the building,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad for
Well,
skateboarding
that's what
too.
I mean. Like, and yeah, exactly. So yeah, like we went out on the weekend and filmed some clips, and yeah, it's just good. I don't know. It's just good getting out doing that sort of stuff again. So, but
Heck
anyway,
yeah.
look, I'll let you get back to it, and thank you for the stuff on the weekend too. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
So,
brother. We got you, man. All right, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, Stuart.
Yeah, all right. All right, no worries. Have a good one.
All right, brother. 10 millimeters. That's what you got to use. Skateboarding. That's wide, boy. I think the widest, I never went wider than 15 mil. 15 mil is a nice one, though. You can buy it directly on their website. This crazy bloom thing. Okay, hold up. I wanted to get into this, though. How can I focus beyond the technical gear and acquisition side? I'm relatively new, have some connections, and own a bit of gear myself. How can I, yeah. I know this is something that we've been, you know, this is something I've been wrestling with myself for a little bit now too, where it's like, and I think that's why I kind of chilled out from the channel a little bit, you know, because I'm just not interested in the gear anymore. And on the videos that I did on like the new gear, of course I have to share my 2 cents, right? But I try to do it in like kind of a unique way because I'm honestly, I don't care. I just don't, it doesn't excite me anymore, you know? And I think that now it's more about, if I'm reading your question there correctly, I think for me anyways, it is more about getting away from that and start focusing on the stuff that originally sparked my interest in the whole cinematography world to begin with, you know? Because in the beginning, you're not, at least me anyways, I wasn't thinking about the gear in the beginning. You know, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about the movies I like and the stuff I love. And well, honestly, the only reason I got into shooting anyways was because I was directing a little bit. I thought I was going to be a director. So I was trying to direct, and I didn't know anything about what the camera was doing. And that really bothered me as a director. Like as a director, I wanted to know what the DP knew, you know? And that's why I started messing with cameras back in like 2017, I guess. Because I had to know. And then what happened, I just fell down that rabbit hole. And that kind of fucked me up a little bit because, you know, I got away from directing and then got more absorbed into like the camera and the lighting. And it was just like, it just spiraled out of control. And then you add on to that the YouTube channel. Well, then you got to kind of, you know, once you get a little bit of that carrot, then you got to keep chasing it and keep chasing it. And then before you know it, you're just like, I'm doing all of this stuff for the wrong reasons, you know? And I think that was really the whole purpose of the whole video that kind of nuked the channel anyways to begin with. You know, the whole reason behind the YouTuber versus filmmaker video was because I was really just having a philosophical conversation with myself and then kind of including my audience in it, not realizing that, you know, I would get people watching the video that aren't part of my normal audience. And all of those people that weren't part of my normal audience were really bothered with what I was saying, you know? And it wasn't really supposed to go down like that. It wasn't, you know, it was me just trying to figure out my own shit. Because I'm not into the gear anymore, you know, I'm really not. And that will stifle, that stifles a lot of things, you know? And what it does though, it can be more advantageous to kind of start focusing on the other part of it. That is why I don't know, maybe that's why I was kind of like, what's this you know, because this is what I've been doing lately. Like I've been watching stuff and just thinking about like, hey man, I'm trying to figure out what I loved again, right? Or I'm trying to fall in love over again with the world of cinema without sounding too douchey, you know, like, but I think that is really what it is, you know? So when I see something like this, I'm like, now this is something that looks interesting to me. This looks like something unique and also maybe has a little bit of the nostalgia or something that is attached to those movies that I remember that made me want to do this filmmaking thing to begin with, right? And yeah, I guess it is because I am a little old now, you know, and I mean, I'm not as old as this, you know, this movie takes place in the 70s. I'm not that old. I grew up in the 90s, right? But either way, you know, there is a little bit of attachment to it because the movies that I was watching as a kid in the 90s all looked like this, right? And so maybe that is part where it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to get back, I'm trying to channel something that is attached to my roots, right? And when you think about what is attached to your roots, your original influences had nothing to do with gear because in the beginning, we're all too stupid to even know what the gear is, quite honestly. You know, usually that's how it goes, right? And so that I think is important to get back to that. Like, it's almost like a level of naivete or like innocence, you know, like something like that. It's like, how can we tap back into that? How can we get back into that? And I think a lot of that has to separate yourself from the trends and it's even harder nowadays, right? Because of social media. It is really hard to step away and try to figure out like, hey man, what is, there's two, because listen, there are two key things to figure out, right? There are two key things to figure out here, in my opinion, right? Two key things in regards to how can you stand out? How can you stand out in a world of just like so much being thrown at you at once? And it can be so difficult with the social media. You have to figure out how to step away from it because you need to figure out what only you can do, right? And Greg Williams talks about this all the time. I love Greg Williams so much. He talks about this all the time. Figure out what only you can do. Now think about that. It's like, how am I going to figure out what only I can do when I'm being like inundated with so much other influences, right? The only way I can figure out what I can do is to turn all of that off, you know, like turn it all off and then turn around and go back down tunnel number one, like where it all began, right? You got to get back to that level of like, hey, remember when I didn't know anything about the gear? Remember when I was just influenced by things out of the pure, just whatever it was, like that is something like at like on its most base emotional level. Remember when you were connected to that stuff? Because I don't know about you guys, but that's harder to feel nowadays. Sometimes. This movie, it broke through the gap, right? This one, just seeing the trailer, broke through the gap for me a little bit. And I think it's because it reminds me of the movies that influenced me as a kid, you know? There's something to be said about that for all of us. Not everyone is going to have the same impact when they see this trailer because we all come from different backgrounds and different eras and things, you know? But those things exist for all of us. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, I think it is important if you, in my opinion, if you want to figure out what only you can do, and in other words, you got to tap into something that only you can offer, right? It's so hard to do. It's, in my opinion, that's the hardest thing to do because you first have to truly find you. You got to find you and you only without all the chitter chatter. You know, that's almost impossible to do nowadays with social media. It's almost impossible to do it. It's like, you just got to turn it off. It's like the Kendrick thing, you know, turn that TV off, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that helps at all, but yeah, I mean, this is stuff that I've been doing of trying to like, okay, let me dig up all these things that remind me of those elements that I love. And they have nothing to do with gear at all. You know, and you know, something interesting that Roger Deakins says quite often, he always talks about how he's trying to get down to only using one light. Now it's a joke, right? He always says it in a joking manner. But we all know there's some truth to all jokes, right? And we all know what he's really saying there too. Like, you just got to like cut out all the fat, you know, like get rid of everything, get rid of all unnecessary items, get it all out of here. right? Let's just use the base, bare necessities, right? Like, let's just go back to that. And the only reason, the only way I think you can do that is you gotta cut off the gear and the trends and all of that stuff. You gotta go, no, I'm not gonna be a part of that. That's really hard to do nowadays. It just is. You know, we're all being influenced nonstop. It's just the way it goes, man. Sorry, I went on there for a little bit. People were, or faster, that's when I checked. You can buy it direct. Okay, you see that guy pawning Mog submitted to Cannes NY Film Fest, picked up by Janus feature-length film on a GH7? Yeah, yeah, I did see that actually. Lots of hype. The feature-length film Magellan was shot on the Panasonic GH7 and is scheduled for release in New York and Los Angeles theaters in January 2026. Here you guys go. I'm sitting here talking about get rid of the gear, and you guys are talking about a movie of what it was shot on. But I understand what you're saying. It's just kind of it's a little ironic, but I understand the point of what you all are saying. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter, right? I think that's what you're all trying to say, because this is a big movie. Don't know anything about this until you guys brought this to my attention. Don't know the story behind that. But yeah, I mean, I think I get your point, right? Like, the stuff that you can get images with. Here's a BTS shot of it. I love it. Dude, I love it. He didn't even, they don't, dude, there's not even a V-mount on this thing. I love it. The very base. I don't know why they're bothering with that shotgun mic, but I love it. So good, man. Wow, dude. Like, normally you would go, wow, look at the BTS guy. Good for him. You're like, nope, that's the actual movie, Jack. Hey, dude, I love it. You know, I love it. Like, that there is a little niche of that mentality that does exist in the YouTube land. But some of those channels do really good, and some of them don't, you know. And I'm talking about the ones that, you know, steer away from the gear. Some of them started off doing the gear, and then they just kind of like bowed away from it. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I didn't know about this one. Story matters, not gear. Banger script overrides everything. It is very true. It is very true. Story will always, yeah, story and audio. 100%. Oh yeah, I think you know, it's funny you bring that up, Faustian, man, because I'm going to be on a podcast. The Honest Filmmaker. I don't know if you've heard of that. The Honest Filmmaker. I'll share it whenever he puts it out. But yeah, I was definitely talking about that, the importance of story. And then he made the joke about audio as well. And yeah, I mean, that helps, you know. If it doesn't sound good, oof. I wish you could control that bokeh from 1.5 or something. Yeah, going back to the floral lens. I was actually thinking about that when the video was playing. Like, but honestly, guys, does the video slap? I don't know, dude. This video is a little weak, bro. And look, I know I say all the time, like, don't talk shit. But, I mean, this is a marketing video. This lens, this is a weird thing. Like, again, this is an odd choice. This is an odd choice. I don't know if this is a choice I would make. If I was marketing to sell a lens, I'm assuming this was all shot on this lens, right? That's why it's being on this. I don't know. I don't, like, seeing it like this is like not that impressive to me in terms of like looking at what I'm looking for in this lens, like what I thought it would do. Like, it doesn't look very special to me, honestly, in a normal shot like this. Like, because think about it. Think about it, honestly. 70% of your shots are going to look like this, right? So, I mean, this isn't any different from any lens I already own. You know what I mean? Like, hell, my Leica M lenses have way more character than this. Way more character than this. The lens I'm using right now from the 90s has more character than this crazy weird lens that they're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of like, I don't see anything interesting about the lens from a normal standpoint. The only way this lens stands out to me is the crazy shit it does with the bokeh. Now on this shot, they started to get some little bit of like halation and stuff, which I can do with this macro adapter. Like, you can Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the thing about this lens is like the crazy bokeh, right? Like that's what they're trying to accentuate with this, like the bokeh. Boy, this stream is getting rough. Look at all this. It's getting bandwidth is losing bad, right? But let's like look at the lens. I'm assuming it's shot on that lens. I'm like, and yeah, it is because it's doing that weird thing with the bokeh. I don't know, bro. I mean, hell, dude, I can throw a Hollywood Black Magic or a classic soft on any Leica M lens, and it's gonna give you way more character than this thing ever dreamed of having. Now, you're not gonna have these cool bokeh like balls, these weird. You're not gonna have that. These like crazy. Looks like you're in an ice storm, you know. But is that what people is buying it for? They're buying it for the bokeh. But yeah, if you can't control it, it's out of control, man. Out of control. Let's see. Yeah, with the Nikon ZR video, I loved how you just took it out on the field right away. Not to say that the other reviewers did not, but they were more talking specs. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that camera, and that's the way I kind of wanted it to be, obviously, you know? And yeah, I said a lot of ignorant shit, but I always do. Like, you guys know I don't censor myself. I say dumb, stupid shit all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the crazy thing is, it's like when people try to use it against you, it's like, bro, you're too late. I already said that. It's like, it's crazy to me when they try to like, is the audio super hot? I just realized that. If the audio's too hot, let me know. But yeah, it's just funny to me when people try to use it against you and it's like, I already said that, dude. But I had a good time with the camera. Look, it's a cool little camera. It really is, talking about the ZR. But it don't interest me that hard, you know? It just don't. I mean, I think the next one would be the one, because also too, the FX6 is getting old. So by then, whenever the next iteration is out, it'll probably be the thing where I go, all right, I'm going to have to, because I'm going to have to swap out the FX6 anyways for age. But even then, I don't know if I will. Honestly, guys, I'm not sure what the future holds for me in terms of like video production, because it's slowed down that hard for me. And I'm not sure what the next level is. I'm not sure, like I've been trying to figure it out, like what the next step is to do, because it's getting slower and slower. And it's like, I don't know how long I can maintain just kind of like hanging on and just taking like the scraps. Because I've been taking the scraps for like 2 years now. It's been that bad since 2023. It's just been all scraps in terms of the jobs I've been getting. It's not bad. It's not horrible. And I'm grateful for all of those, you know, but at the same time, it's just like the jobs ain't hitting like they used to for me out here, you know. And I don't know if that speaks to, you know, a lot of shit happened since 2023. Both the strikes, the AI stuff, like a lot of stuff went down since 2023. And I think like for my particular, where I'm at, it just ain't popping back. For some guys it is. But hey, they're probably on another different level than me. They probably already had connections that I did not, you know? So I don't even know if I would be caught up in a situation where it would be worth it. I mean, I guess maybe it would be, but right now, like, and maybe that's another reason why I'm not like getting excited about the gear. Cause it's like right now, me from like a business standpoint, buying new gear is not going to help me right now, you know, like, and that obviously has a lot to do with it too. You know, when you got to step back and realize that, like, that's not the thing that's going to help me fill the gaps, you know, because it's not. And I think that's a good thing to note out too. I think sometimes in the beginning, especially, you think like, dude, I got to get this. I got to get this. I got to get this. And I guess sometimes it's warranted. And certainly there were times where I saw direct returns based upon me getting something, but also like, who's to say that's not just coincidental, you know? Because now after now some time has gone by and you go, nah, the gear ain't gonna actually change the situation, because I just know that it's not, you know? And I think that's an important thing to note, you know, for anybody out there. Like, yeah, like if you're sitting stagnant or even not, if you're thriving, either way, whether you're thriving or not currently, new gear is not going to change anything. It's just not. Unless it's something where maybe you could argue that, oh, it'll make my life easier. That is certainly true. Like, for instance, if all you had was a little Sony mirrorless camera and you had the opportunity to upgrade that Sony mirrorless to something like the FX6, yeah, your life is going to become easier. But the reality is, nothing is going to change in terms of your skill set or what you can bring to the table or even the offers you're getting. Like, it's not going to change any of that. Just because you get like a brand new shiny camera, it's not going to change the amount of jobs that are opened up in your area for someone at your level. You know, that's just, you know, it doesn't matter what you have in your arsenal. No one's going to care about that. And if they are caring about that more than about, you know, your work, that's a red flag to me, you know, of the job that you're doing and the people that you're working with. It just is, you know. We don't need people out there buying us for our gear. And that's why we see it all the time on Craigslist. Dude, I roasted the shit out of someone on an Instagram. I was going to do it as a story, right? It was just going to be a story. And then I thought it was so funny. I'm like, nah, I'm going to let this live as a short. And it did take off pretty hard. I don't know. They may have taken it down by now. I think this is the one I found. Yeah, so this is hilarious. In search of a cinematographer. So the thing is called creative cinematographer. In search of a cinematographer that can do a 4-hour shoot in Los Angeles. Okay? Remember that number, 4 hours. The quality of the video would need to be equal or greater to the example below. No editing or post-production required. Just the raw video footage shot in at least 4K. Pay is negotiable. Please reply with a sample of your work that is equal to or greater than the example in the following link. So he's looking for you to create something that is the quality of the video that would be equal or greater to the example below. And we're going to do this in 4 hours, keep in mind. This is only a 4-hour shoot. So I click on it. I just thought it'd be something that they did before. No. It is the official trailer for Warner Brothers' Wuthering Heights movie. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. I can totally do that by myself in 4 hours. No problem whatsoever. Who can't? Easy peasy, bro. Easy. Look at this. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. This goddamn thing looks like a painting. Look at this, dude. Look at it. Yeah, dude, we can do that in 4 hours. I should call him back. So question is, what can we not do in 4 hours? Question number 2 is, what part? Because we can do all of this in 4 hours. It's a fucking 2-minute, 40-second long trailer. Holy shit, bro. So, you know, this is the level of the expectations. Not that I take too many Craigslist jobs, but I do like to have Craigslist for entertainment purposes more often than not. But the reason why I brought it up is because at least here, the majority of the time when you're looking around on Craigslist is you will see that they want specific cameras, you know. And I maybe that's like a Craigslist thing, you know, like we got to let them know. They got to have an Arri Alexa. When you see that on a Craigslist ad, that's just always so funny to me. But, you know, the sad part is here in LA, I can guarantee they're getting emails from guys that own Arri Alexas because of everything I just said 10 minutes ago. You know, shit is slow here, you know, and that's probably why it's got really slow for me, because all them big boys with their Arri Alexas are even taking the Craigslist jobs. They're creating Wuthering Heights in 4 hours. Holy shit, dude. Oh my God. What did he say about the Nikon ZR video? I loved, oh yeah. Thank you. I agree with having a strong story, but gear has some part, like having good audio will help significantly. So good point on audio. Yeah, dude. 100%. I would say story is number 1, audio number 2, and video editing number 3. Movie kind of looks like The Conversation, and that was shot in the 70s by Coppola. The Conversation. All right. We got some stuff going on. The Honest Filmmaker, definitely going to listen. Oh, cool. You're aware of him, Faustian. Badass, dude. Yeah, look like a shift lens on crack. He's talking about this thing. Oh, shit, dude. I watch you because you're real and unscripted. Thank you, bro. I just sold some gear I had, so I'm currently waiting. Yeah, just wait it out, man. Just wait it out. Just wait it out. Get your iPhone and you're good to go. 4 hours, I might as well just hire the Warner Brothers. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane, man. It's wild. All right, man. I think we're going to call it. It's been a weird one. I went down some weird rabbit holes. I got a little... Oh, this is still going on. We still got our Hugo lens test going on. These are so sharp. I cannot believe this is what they use on that movie. The filtration must be hardcore that they used. These are the Hugo lenses. The ones are on the Sony Venice 2. Oh, well, that's why it looks so sharp. They got these basically, which are Summiluxes, rehoused Summiluxes on a Sony Venice 2. And they shot that other movie on a Venice 11. Holy cannolis. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you for the hang, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. This was a weird one. This was a weird one. Hopefully next week we have something a little better. I think we'll start doing some breakdowns over here, real breakdowns. I thought I had a good thing going with this, and then I just spiraled, and having the mic off for the first 10 minutes threw me. So I really appreciate you guys sticking around. Don't watch this. This movie will destroy your mental everything. Sorry, it's a TV show. I keep calling it a movie. Yeah, bro. All right, guys. We will see you in the next time. Everybody be safe. Be cool. There is no Venice 11. Oh, I was about to say, dude, they have 11 of those things. Oh, shit. That's an awesome way to